sinner comes before you.
I have sinned.
But you have sinned.
I have sinned. She's a sinner. I know I have sinned.
They make me a sinner.
I have sinned. I have sinned.
It's a sin.
You are a sinner.
I'm gonna miss that one. Hello, my name is Robbie. On here, I am Templar Knight. Every person who believes in God but does not go to church has a story why. But whenever two or more people gather in God's name, He is there. So this is church. Welcome. I'm glad that you're here. From Paul's letter to the Romans, all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. The wages of that sin is death. And God shows His love for us, that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. You know, this series, it has been a difficult one. And I'm sure I'm not the only person here who has felt called out by that guy on the screen. But it was a good series, and I needed to hear it. So as we bring this series to a close, I realize this whole series we've been talking about all these different types of sin and how they come after us, how we can fight back. And I found a pattern, and I kind of fell into a routine. See, I would talk about what the sin is. I would talk what this sin cost us, what it can do in our lives, and how it impacts us and those around us. Then I transitioned and I would share stories from my life. Hopefully stuff that you guys could relate with, so that you would realize that although I'm the guy on the camera, I'm the one preaching from this digital pulpit, I still struggle with this too. That I'm not perfect. I hope you can understand that and relate with me on this. See, there are things in my life that I need to be better at. And I'm just hoping that by being open, by sharing my struggles, you can make a connection with your struggles and with mine. As I just said, all sin and fall short of the glory of God, me included. You know, I watched a sports movie today. So, I don't know why I don't do sports movies, but I watched one. And I want to make an analogy off what I saw, because this is one of those times when I was just piddling around on Facebook and I saw this short come across my stream and it says, oh, I need to watch that. And with 3 hours before Bible study, I said, yeah, I can fit this in. But this movie, let's face it, we all like watching a good movie. You know, like in this movie, it's like every good sports movie. It's about the underdogs, the ragtag group of characters that each, they all got something to prove. And there's some struggle they need to overcome. And they all come together under the guidance of their coach. And coach tells them how they're going to win and what they got to do. And if they would just listen, if they would just believe in themselves. But when faced with insurmountable odds, when things look impossible and they want to give up, they pull together. They each step up and they do their best. And in most cases, they win. But in this movie I watched today, they lost. The team that I'd spent 2 hours learning about who they were and caring for them, they lost. But inside they grew. They were better people by the end of this movie. Now, granted, it wasn't the good, feel-good victory you want at the end of a exciting sporting movie. But for me, I needed to see that. I needed to relate to that movie in my life today. When I should have been working on my Bible study lesson, instead I was hanging out with a new friend on Twitch, and I was watching this old sports film. I don't even like sports films. But I was watching this movie. And it all made sense to me once it was done. Because that movie, it's my life. It's like my battles against sin. Sometimes I win. Sometimes I lose. And there are so many battles every day. Every day. I can just be driving down the street and someone cuts me off. Now in a split second, I've got a battle with sin. Do I lose that fight and let my wrath and profanity take over and lash out, go full road rage mode? Lose 2 fights with 1 interaction? Or do I brush it off and accept grace and just move on with my day? That's a battle against sin. Comes out of nowhere, don't see it coming, and I have split seconds to respond. Or if I watch a friend succeed, do I take joy in their happiness? Or do I lose that battle against sin and I become envious and I become greedy and I want what they have or what they've achieved? That's a battle with sin. I mean, how many battles with sin do we have in a day? I mean, is it just 2, 20, 40, 50 more? Maybe. And oftentimes, the battle is over before it begins because we already know how to fight that sin. And we know how to win. Or sometimes, the battle with sin is over before it begins because it's too hard and we don't even want to bother trying. And that's where that movie comes into play. See, it's not about winning or losing. It's about trying. It's about the fight. You don't just give up. You don't just surrender. You give it your best. You put forth the effort, and you try. How often does sin come our way and we say, nope, those guys are too big, too strong, too fast. I can't beat them, so why bother? But giving up in the movies doesn't happen the way it does in life. In life, we just step aside and say, I'm not strong enough to fight this one, so you win. Imagine if a movie did that. You're watching some show, you're an hour and a half into it, and your team's getting ready to go. The stadium is packed, and everyone turns up to see the hometown heroes, and they have to take down the big undefeated challengers from a bigger, better school with a bigger, better program. Let's see if these young men were able to overcome all the struggles in their life and come together to slay their giants. Can they beat this team on the football field tonight? But wait, what's this? We just received word from the locker room. Our local team has decided that they don't stand a chance. So they aren't going to bother playing in this championship game. So I guess that means that the big dogs win. Congratulations on becoming the new state champions for being so good that the other team doesn't even want to try. You'll have to let me know if you've ever seen that movie. I've never heard of one. And why not? Because what a dumb way to end an inspirational movie. You try so hard to overcome so much, then you just give up. But yet that happens so often in our lives. We get matched up against a sin that is just beating us down time and time again. So we just say, nope, I'm not going to win this time. And we give up. And we let sin beat us. And we let sin keep us chained down. You coward. How dare you? After everything we've been through to get here, you're just gonna give up? No! You get back out there and you fight. Because it doesn't matter if you win or lose. It matters how hard you try. And you keep trying. You keep fighting. Maybe one day you'll win, but you don't give up. See, it doesn't matter how many times you've lost in the past. You keep fighting. And this might be the time. Sin comes after us because it's trying to drive a wedge between us and the Lord. Sin tries to separate us from Jesus and his sacrifice. So you need to decide, are you okay with sin keeping you chained down? Are you okay with sin trying to destroy your life? The devil will do everything he can to break you. And getting us to sin is one of his greatest weapons. So when the devil and sin come after you, fight back. Win or lose, doesn't matter. No matter what the odds are against you, you do not give up. Jesus is just like that coach on the sidelines. He knows how to win. He's done it. Jesus is the only person who has defeated sin. And he is trying so hard to show us the way. He is trying to lead us to victory. But win or lose, he still loves you. So don't give up. Keep fighting. Jesus beat sin for us so that all the times we fail, all the times we lose our battle with sin, he will take that defeat from us. He does that because he loves us. And what does he want from us in return? He wants us to accept him. He wants us to love him, to spread his love to everyone, those who already know and those who don't. Said this time and time again. Jesus said, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. Let me prove to you how much I love you. Jesus said, if you love me, you will listen and you will do what I'm telling you to do. I want the best for you. Listen to what I'm saying and follow. And when you fall, I will be there to pick you back up. When you fall, I will be there to pick you back up. How many times have you heard that from a coach or a parent or a friend? Or from Jesus? See, I may not always understand the path God puts me on, but I will trust that there is a reason. And that reason is that He wants the best for me. See, I know how much He loves me. And I wish you could understand how much He loves you. So in case no one's told you recently, Jesus loves you. Winning or losing, He still loves you. So keep fighting against the sin in your life. Do not just accept defeat because you don't think you can win. Because Jesus loves you, and He has already won. We need to do better. He deserves better from us. We should not be allowing sin to push us around like this. And I say that because I know the sins I struggle with. And I should not allow sin to push me around the way it does. I should be able to stand against anything the enemy throws my way. Because I know that God's got my back. He will watch over me and He will protect me. So I will fight. I heard something the other day and I want to repeat it again because it's worth hearing. If you ever feel like you're not strong enough, God is. And if you don't think you can bear anymore, He can. And if you don't hear Him calling out to you, we are right here. Because that is what a community is for. And we will fight this fight together. So I'm going to pray this aloud. And if you feel like you're ready for a change, if you want to break the cycle that sin has in your life, feel free to pray this with me tonight. I was enslaved by my sin. But Jesus broke my chains and freed me from my sins. We are strong enough. We are not going back.
A sinner comes before you.
I have sinned.
But you have sinned.
I have sinned. She's a sinner. I know I have sinned.
They make me a sinner.
I have sinned. I've sinned.
Sin.
It's a sin.
You are a sinner.